life and livelihood across the world and demands a multidisciplinary approach for its management. And there is emerging evidence that yoga is complementary and integrative therapy for lifestyle diseases like COVID. So Dr. Patel will elaborate on how yoga can be used to manage COVID-19. So let's invite Dr. Patil this evening. Sir, will you please join us?
Namaste.
Namaste, Dr. Patil. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm going to hand over the session to you now. And I hope our audience learns a lot from it. Thank you so much.
I will share my screen. Hope my screen is visible and I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you are, sir. Thank you.
Still it is visible now, the whole screen now?
Yes, sir. Can you please put it in slideshow mode, sir?
Yeah, it is now in slideshow mode. It is not able to see in the slideshow mode now.
No, sir.
I am moving the slide.
No. Actually, sir, when you are sharing now, I think you have selected the PowerPoint presentation window. You please don't select that. You please select the first one, entire screen. Then please share, sir. Please stop now. Again, now you please share, sir. When you click on share screen button, you please take the first one, screen it's called.
Okay, there is.
The first pop-up window will come now, sir. In that you have to take the screen.
Screen.
Yeah. And again share. Click on share.
First the only screen, no? Hope it is visible.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Now you please open your PPT, sir. Now you please put on slideshow mode, sir. Yes. Perfect, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I thank organizer giving me this opportunity this evening. I will like to just give an outline, another 45 minutes about the role of yoga in the management of COVID-19 pandemic. So as in the opening itself, Madam has told, COVID-19 has disrupted our life. Okay. So it has been affected not only as a health-wise, so it has even affected our different domains of the life. It may be the loss of job, loss of loved one, lot of psychological impact, and lot of disruption of the life versus livelihood. So many domains it has got impacted. So in this talk, I would like to give an outline about the COVID-19 management. So what exactly the Ayush Ministry talks about and why yoga is a need of our using yoga as a therapy, even though it is meant as a philosophy, how it can be helpful and trying to give you some amount of the scientific evidences. And also the other component, we are talking a lot about immunity and we are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharata kind of thing. So we will try to address that. And I would like to share a few of the research, topics which we have taken recently, which we have conducted during COVID-19 infection, especially first wave and also second wave. So I don't want to really, go more about, talk about COVID-19 because COVID-19 created a lot of havoc. Everybody is talking. Initially, we don't have anything. It was the topic which is discussed more, unfortunately, less understood. Even though after around more than, it is more than 2 years now, but still there is a lot of, issues with that. We don't have clarity on that. People say vaccination is really helpful. We thought last wave, so now we are about to expecting the fourth wave. So many things are there, but there are a lot of literature has been emerged out because of the research has been done and a lot of vaccination has come up in the market. Vaccination drive is also in force. So still there are a lot of challenges, but compared to earlier, the challenges are little less, but there are impact of the post-COVID infection that we would like to see. So here the yoga or maybe Ayush, more spoke about or may not focused on the more of prevention rather than therapeutic. Definitely, as Ayurveda is yoga is not different from each other. If you try to look at this Ayurveda or yoga, because why I'm trying to bring here Ayurveda is because Ayurveda is nothing but Upaveda, Atharvana Veda. If we see this, quotation from the Patanjali, he says yogena chittasya padena vacha malam sharirasya chavaitikena. So there also you can able to see Ayurveda and yoga go hand in hand. So why I'm trying to bring that in this prevention aspect is they focus, the present healthcare system, they are focusing on the treating the diseases, but Ayush systems, especially Ayurveda and yoga, more focused on the prevention and enhancing the life and livelihood, because a lot of people have confusion that Ayurveda is a medical science. Unfortunately, it is not. Fortunately, it is a science of life. It is not a medical science. Medical science is one of the domain of the Ayurveda, and yoga is also part of that. That's what yogena chittasya padena vacha malam sharirasya chavaidikena yopakarotam pravaram muninam. So chitta handle, we need a yoga, and for the body management we need a Ayurveda. So we have discussed a lot of kind of waves. Started first wave, second wave given us very big impact. A lot of people suffered, a lot of queues in front of the cremation area. A lot of things has been happened. We have suffered a lot. A lot of variants also came into the market. People are impacted, and because virus keep changing its structure, so it is very difficult to find it. But even though there are vaccination, there are still challenges ahead for us. Even though it is reduced, there are post-COVID. So what I'm trying to say here is COVID-19 variants are many, and we don't know how many waves we are expecting. We thought fourth wave. We are now expecting fourth wave. It has already started in few countries. We may, who knows, we may get even also fifth wave. We have named so many, Omicron, Delta, Alpha, Beta, and there is combination, permutation, combination. There are different variants in the different part of the country. So there is no end. So we cannot keep searching for every time a different vaccination for a different variant. It is not possible because it is hampering the immune system. Vaccination is good, but sometimes if keep giving more vaccination or more kind of thing, then it may also cause a problem. That's also we need to understand. So these are again different variants across the globe. We have seen several variants. So my focus will be not touching on the allopathic part or the present healthcare part, where the Ayush system, especially yoga, can fit in. So especially when you see COVID-19, the mental health part component is very much important. Not only in the first phase, it was more of phobia, fear, and kind of anxiety and social stigma was there. Fortunately, whatever the extent we thought, it was not so dangerous after second or third wave. People getting educated, the problems were a little bit reduced, but still there are another component, lockdown and lost job and loved one passed away. There are some other component in addition to the secondary component of mental health also got impacted. So we have heard, this kind of quarantine, isolation, loneliness, lockdown, this kind of things are very not normal in the healthcare day to day, because COVID-19 is one of the infection or maybe a pandemic which is the present this century. What nobody has seen this kind of pandemic. We have only heard about it earlier. So that's also another reason. So my talk will be more focusing on the mental health. Definitely there are other components like respiratory system, post-COVID infection, prevention aspect, immunity aspect. It is going to help. There is no doubt. But basically, why I'm trying to bring this component is when mentally we are very strong, the infection also we can fight with the infection very stronger, and so possibility of the mortality and other things are also very less. That's what I'm trying to say here. So if we try to understand where Ayurveda and yoga are not different, because as I said, yogena chittasya padena vacha. For the mind management, we need a yoga. For the body management, we need a Ayurveda. It is clearly mentioned in the quotation of the Patanjali's prayer itself is very much clear. And I would like to make a statement here. It is very clear that we may be having today in DNY as naturopathy and yoga in a different way, maybe yoga, Ayurveda is a different domain. But if you look at the Shastra, it has been clearly told that it is very much interlinked. Ayurveda and yoga are interlinked, because the mind management, we need a yoga, even though there are certain tools are available in Ayurveda, but the main focus is the yoga is required for the mind management. Body management, we require maybe if you look at the Ayush Kami Adhyaya, first chapter of Ashtanga Hridaya, it has been clearly mentioned, for a long healthy lifespan, we require Ayurveda. Why we require a long healthy lifespan? To achieve a Chaturtha Purusharthas. That's the ultimate goal. So yoga is actually a philosophy. As you all know, yoga is one of the Shabdarshana. It is philosophy which has been practiced for the thousands of years back, and unfortunately we are not able to find a good kind of tools That is where we have landed up with handling psychosomatic diseases, especially lifestyle diseases. That's where the yoga started using as a therapeutic tool. Yoga is a philosophy, it is meant for a higher purpose. I will try to tell that. I have attended one of the talks by Swami Niranjana Saraswati long back during my PG days. It's a long back, but still that statement holds good. Yoga is basically a very powerful tool. To kill a bird, we don't require a Brahmastra. Whatever using yoga as a therapy, to kill a bird, we are using the Brahmastra. That's the power of yoga. But unfortunately, as I said, today we don't have a better tool to handle the, especially mind psychosomatic ailments, because we always try to see that the mind or maybe a brain functions are taken up, but it is not nearly so that there are some different domains beyond that. If you try to see what is the ultimate goal of life, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. This is the ultimate goal of life. For sadhana of this, we require yoga as one of the tools, because unless and until we get a liberation, the cycle of birth and death will continue. That's the whole concept here. As I said, we don't have a better tool. That's where it is came. So we try to now understand where yoga now comes. There are a lot of systems of medicine, allopathy, people say, somebody says a conventional medicine, somebody says it's a modern medicine. So everybody is very much familiar about that. So complementary medicine also, there is a very frequent terminology what we are trying to use here. So we are trying to use complementary with something in addition to whatever treatment is going on. If we add, so that will be a complementary. What I'm trying to give us this background is very much important to understand the role of yoga in the COVID-19 management. Sometimes it can be a complementary, sometimes it may be an alternate. So I will now come to alternate medicine. So alternate medicine is in replacement. If it may be a mild or moderate, maybe we can in prevention aspect or mild kind of cases, we can replace the treatment with a complete yogic management, or maybe Ayurveda can be treated. That's how it goes. So there is something called integration. Integration is a combination with some amount of good amount of evidences. It is not that without any evidences, if you just treat, that is not called integration. It should have some amount of evidences. That's where recent research is. A lot of literature has been found, more than 35 articles has been now published with yoga intervention or maybe some amount of Ayush intervention in COVID-19. It has been found beneficial along with some other mainstream of medicine. That is called an integrative medicine. Integrative medicine is not simply kind of khichdi kind of thing. You will mix up so many things without any evidence. This is not called integration. Now there is a new terminology. It is now heading up. There is a transdisciplinary. Now we are talking within the healthcare system. We are talking about Ayurveda, yoga, or maybe eye system, or acupuncture, Indonesian, Chinese, all a healthcare system. Now there is a need of ours to go beyond the barrier of the discipline, cut across, maybe a bioengineering or maybe some other technology. We can club together and come up with that and help the people. If we try to see where exactly this yoga stands, if you try to see the National Institute of Health, the so-called the pioneer in the field of healthcare, where make the most of the policies, where we can able to see there are 27 institutes. Among them, there is something called National Center for Complementary and Alternative Medicine. It is recently named as National Center for Complementary and Integrative Medicine. Earlier, the word alternate used to use. Nowadays, we are trying to use yoga as an integrative medicine in general. So, with this brief, I would like to say that yoga can act as a complementary in certain conditions, even including in COVID-19. It can act as an alternate also in some of the conditions. It can also act as an integration also in some of the conditions. We can able to see that in my future slides. So we would like to now see before entering in, this is very, very important. The Ministry of Ayush was not there before 2014. The present government, when came to the first time, it is second term what they are getting. When they came into the picture, the Ministry of Ayush came. Earlier, Ministry of Ayush was under Health and Family Welfare. So that's where that itself shows that there is a lot of importance that they have given, because separate making a ministry itself shows that there is a need to bring this kind of thing to the streamline and now help the people, especially COVID-19 kind of situation. So as I already told, yoga is actually meant for a psychosomatic disorder, or a lot of time we are speaking, it's not meant for a communicable disorder. But after COVID-19, we earlier used to say is a non-communicable disorder. The 21st century health challenges were NCDs like diabetes, hypertension, Okay, coronary artery disease. So many conditions were there, which is being found beneficial and people have started using it. But we never thought it can play a vital role in communicable diseases before COVID-19, the way extent what we thought. But fortunately, we have been able to witness a lot of evidences in prevention, during infection, also post-COVID rehabilitation. Also, we can able to find out the lot of promise has been found the role of yoga in handling the COVID-19. The 21st century problems, as you know, because lifestyle. Earlier there was a culture. Whenever we go home, enter the home, maybe my parents or maybe a grandparents used to practice wash our legs, and change the cloth before involving with our family members. But it has been stopped. See, what COVID-19 has taught us is go back to our ancient way of culture. Because in COVID-19 infection, we have to wash our hand, we have to change our cloth, lot of so many things were we are learned again. This is things used to be practiced earlier. So COVID-19, especially the one of the important component what we have found is the stress. Okay, in addition to the respiratory infection, even though it was a viral infection, the mind component is very, very important. So it is in everyone, maybe a student, a family woman, or maybe a people working lost the job, or people with a ICU also face a lot of challenges. Geriatric population faces their own challenges, frontline warriors faces their own challenges. So challenges are there for everyone. One of the important components in the 21st century, the diet, exercise, and bad habits in the stress. This is the lifestyle related issue. Earlier, we used to talk these things under the non-communicable disorder. During the COVID, we have all practiced or we have started talking about the same lifestyle condition in COVID-19. We have talked about what kind of, maybe Ayurveda kitchen or maybe home remedies kind of food we have shifted. We started doing exercises to improve the lung function, our immunity, and we stopped the bad habits, which we usually not only drinking alcohol or maybe eating timely food, because that's what everything has started changing. So stress is one of the important components, especially it has very magnanimously seen in the first wave, especially in the second wave because of the mortality. But maybe as vaccination drive has happened and other component, it has been a bit reduced. And stress need to be addressed. When we are mentally strong, infection also we can fight better. Maybe the fight is happening at the border. Okay, now Russia-Ukraine fight is also happening. Why US people or maybe other NATO people are not able to interfere? There is a strong immunity from the Russia. Russia is well equipped, so that's where the invasion is very difficult. People will think twice. That's where when mentally strong, your defense system will be strong, your immune system will be strong. That will help to fight with any virus or any infection. Why I'm telling? Because immune system is not meant for, my vaccination is meant for the particular virus. Okay, and also treatment is also focused, the present healthcare system is also focused on the particular receptors. But immune system, it is trained in such a way that it may be enemy from Pakistan, enemy from the China, or enemy from other surrounding countries. It is same for that. So it is being trained for all the enemies. But what is happening at present, the vaccination is prepared for the one enemy. It is, if the other enemy comes, it is not able to recognize, so they can invade and we will end up with some problems. But in yoga, it is overall immunity will improve, overall your health will improve. That's what I'm trying to make you understand. So stress is one of the components. It may be a directly impact of the infection, or it may be a secondary to loss of job and loss of loved one, or so many other, maybe a new kind of learning for the students. We are not used to the online learning. This kind of things have happened. That's we need to understand. Stress is actually a God's gift. It's eustress and there are de-stress. Okay, eustress is helpful for the coping the demand situation. But during COVID-19 or the post-COVID-19 impact, we are now being distressed. That's becoming a problem for us. So before entering or understanding the point here, we need to understand the concept of mind. We have 11 indriyas, sense organ 5, and there are 5 motor organs. We all know. These both sense organ as well as the motor organ under the control of mind. In the absence of mind, both sense organ as well as the motor organ doesn't function. Yes or no? See, what I'm trying to make you understand here, the lifestyle is being deteriorated or negatively impacted because we are not have a control over the sense organ as well as the motor organ. Everybody knows regular exercise is good, good food is good, following the good habits is good. Everybody knows it, but we're not able to do it. If we further try to dig and understand it, one of the important component what we are able to see is the mind. This both sense organ as well as a motor organ under the control of mind. In absence of mind, both sense organ as well as motor organ doesn't function. We are all clear with that. This is a well-established theory. So mind is the king, and the king can be controlled through the yoga, because yoga is chittarutti nirodha, mana prashamana upaya, samatvam yoga uchyate. So when we are able to control the king, though the king is controlling both jnanendriya as well as karmendriya, that's where the control will come. Unfortunately, in today's lifestyle, we don't have a better tool to control the mind. We are only masking, we are only suppressing, we are only inhibiting the emotions. But the modification of the emotions only possible through the yoga. That's what I'm trying to make you understand here. So stress is a part of life. It is good. There are certain changes happens in there is a fight and flight. So people started fighting and also people started flighting. That's where a lot of migration happened, a lot of things has happened. That's what I'm trying to make you understand here. So COVID-19, not only as a health-wise, but also challenge-wise, which has been impacted. This is one of the beautiful picture of the psychosomatic ailment, which is even applicable in a communicable disorder like COVID-19, which is adopted by Dr. Nagaratna and Dr. Nagendra. Stress, as per the understanding, is the, if you know, Taittiriya Upanishad understanding, we have a 5 layer of existence. Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha. If you try to understand the root cause here, for the most of the time, the problem is even the immune system is plays a very important role in COVID-19. That is there in the Manomaya Kosha, or the mind. That's where it plays a very important role. If you can able to see what are the impact of the stress response, it is affecting most of the system, because there are 2 conducting systems in our body. One is a endocrine system, another one is a nervous system, especially sympathetic nervous system. Both sympathetic nervous system and also there are stress hormones getting impacted by the stress, and it is percolating that stress to the all other systems. That's where we are facing a lot of challenges. Not only the COVID created a problem at the respiratory level, it has created a problem at the psychological issues. It has created a problem at a cardiovascular problem. There are issues, diabetes also, COVID-19 related diabetes cases also we have seen. So many issues are interconnected or entangled with what I'm trying to say. If we try to understand with the existing literature, there is no direct references are available. But if we're trying to make a network of existing literature, we can able to link that one of the important component is stress. And as I said, stress is due to lack of control, especially psychological stress, lack of control over the mind, and mind can be controlled through the can be through the yoga. That's what I'm trying to say. So whenever there are stressful situations, whether we will fight, we are flight. Initially we are flight. Okay, we are trying to run away from the issue. That caused the livelihood for us. Then started fighting with a lot of guideline, lot of chalking out so many things. So we tried in COVID-19 both fight and flight. Okay, now we don't want to run away, we want to fight, because in a better position at present. So as I already explained, there are 2, one is the neuroendocrine pathway, another one is the sympathetic nervous system. It is causing impact on each and every system, not only psychologically. As I said, diabetic cases also more. There are so many other cases, it is linked with the COVID-19. And this so-called 21st century diseases, diabetes, back pain, obesity, because obesity increased, the people are sitting in home or work from home, and anxiety, depression, because it is very difficult to, lot of things were there earlier, it has been multiplied because of the COVID-19. So directly, indirectly, both communicable as well as non-communicable disorder, both the things can be handled through the yoga. I will try to give some amount of the evidence in my future slides. So this is where the important component, what I'm trying to say, the Taittiriya Upanishad, okay, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha, where it is the issue where we are trying to address different layers with a different kind of components like diet, cleansing technique, or maybe asanas at a Mannamaya Kosha. For the Pranamaya Kosha, we can use the pranayamas, maybe other breathing techniques. So we have several kind of tools which I'm going to brief you in my future slides. Then, as I made it very clear, why yoga in COVID-19? Because people felt during first wave, what happened? people were have anxiety, apprehension, the kind of the psychologically the way media has created disruption was very high compared to the disease. People are running away. Nobody want to even touch their own relatives. A lot of people were under depression. So then what we started, because I was fortunate to work in a COVID-19 hospital. Ours is a teaching hospital. It's the only hospital in a whole Kolar district. Whenever the first wave was there, I got an opportunity to treat. Everybody is talking why yoga is required during this COVID-19, because we don't know about any medication in our own science, and allopathy or modern science, how yoga can help in this kind of infectious diseases. But still I felt yoga can also make a difference. Even I was knowing, I said, I don't know, even I myself, I don't have any idea, but I feel keeping them mentally fit, calm, and giving some kind of breathing exercises will help. I'm talking about in the beginning of the wave, when there is started in the first week. So then we started just talking to a patient, and fortunately we have taken a few of the research studies during that first time, and I'm very much fortunate we have worked out even frontline warrior, nurses, police people, and also infectious diseases. During infection also we have treated, and totally 5 or 6 research projects we have taken, including our student research project. We found yoga very much beneficial during infection, even prevention of the infection, and also post-COVID infection. Before going into that, if we see best of the best healthcare system in US and Italy, those people suffered a lot. Here, what is protected us, India, the country like developing country like India, because of our home remedies, our culture, maybe we are exposed to the lot of infection, and our lifestyle, the kind of lifestyle what we follow, the kind of diet what we follow, the kind of culture what we have, so many factors have helped us. Otherwise, if country like best of the best healthcare systems brought their needs like US and Italy, India could have been the disaster. It could have been wiped out maybe 50% of the population, because the kind of facility we could not have at that point of time, and hardly there are the amount of population itself, it was very challenging for us. So we are able to overcome and able to handle. That is, even though best of the best advancement in the countries also suffered a lot, but developing country like India is able to handle COVID better. What I'm trying to credit here is our culture, the way we were, and maybe we are used to this kind of infections and the home remedies, and our lifestyle. Maybe yoga people started following, people started doing prayers. It may be any religious prayer. It may be a praying for Allah, it may be praying for Yesu, or it may be from Rama. Nothing matters. But the kind of belief that is given a mental strength, in addition to having an impact on the cytokines kind of thing, it may be enhanced the pulmonary functions. We will try to see in the later part. So we feel the COVID-19, especially, it is not only affecting giving a positive impact on the respiratory system. In addition to respiratory system, during COVID-19, it has a lot of people ended up the diabetic, a lot of people ended up the breathing issues. There is sclerosis of the lung. There is a issue with the cardiovascular disease. There is an issue with some eye related diseases. So many things have been happened because of the side effect of the medicine. People started experimenting because we don't know anything. Government also don't know what to do initially days. A lot of so-called the remdesivir. People, ministerial level influencers, then people used to bring to get a medicine like remdesivir. Okay. Later, after 1 or 2 years, ICMR themselves declared that there is no much role of the remdesivir, one of the antiviral medicine. So many medicines are being bombarded in anticipation, in the apprehension of the preventing disease or treating the diseases. That's where it is becoming more and more challenges for the healthcare system. Not only treating, maybe to handle the other component entangled to the situation of COVID-19, where also yoga plays a very important role, which we are trying to see. See, one of the important things, especially because what we thought it's a kind of pneumonia, it's a kind of lung diseases, or maybe a kind of respiratory disorder initially days. So people started practicing the pranayama initially days. So it helped in 2 ways. One is definitely whenever you do any of your breathing, any kind of breathing, it is going to enhance the lung function, pulmonary function test, what we say. It will enhance. In addition to that, the turmoil, you can see one of the picture, it's a turmoil in the mind, it is so disturbed. Another lake, it is a smooth, calm kind of thing. So in addition to the on benefiting the lungs and also the enhancing the immunity, it also plays a very important role in the calming the mind, or maybe a social fear, phobia, anxiety kind of psychological issues were there. So what I'm trying to make a point here is the animal which breathe at a slower pace have a longer lifespan. The animal which breathe a faster pace, it's having a shorter lifespan. So why I'm bringing this component here? Because COVID-19, we are trying to see is it has affected a lung. One of the forensic study, those who after death of a patient, they did a study on the lung. So it has been found like it is lung becoming, even though it's a spongy material, it become a stone-like. So it is even a lot of people, maybe those who are audience can able to also see that a lot of people are finding difficulty or maybe breathlessness after 2 or 3 floor climbing with the steps. These kind of issues have been seen. Why I'm trying to say that, especially the Kumbhaka part, you have to need a help of a ego, etc. can enhance, because elasticity is being zeros. When you inhale and pull up the lung and keep hold it for some time, it will try to expand and try to reduce the sclerosis, which is no changes it is happening, because every variant is having the impact on a different system. Still no, even though a lot of literature has been published, a lot of things we were able to hear from WHO, that apprehension is still there. Maybe it is reduced, but still there. We don't have a clarity what to do, what not to do. Simple practices like pranayama, maybe some practice of Surya Namaskara, some practice of Brahmari kind of thing. There is another study by Dr. Tanesha. A Brahmari can release the nitric oxide. We are using some kind of spray, okay, to prevent the infection of the virus. So that also we have seen. So Brahmari can release the nitric oxide, and that is helps in the prevention. Earlier, even though we are practicing it, we are not aware that it is releasing the nitric oxide. What I'm trying to say here is lack of evidence doesn't mean that there is a lack of impact. We are yet to explore so many gray areas. So that's the reason it is very much important. Whether it is not doing good, at least it will not do harm. The practicing regularly yoga definitely make a positive impact. So during COVID-19, we have seen, as I already explained, this is a corona is in the mind. It may be a fear, anxiety, depression, loneliness, stigma, disturbed sleep, or cognition, loss of job, post-COVID infection. So many issues were there. The mind was totally disturbed. See, if you go to in another system, you will have to handle different kind of treatment for all kind of different kind of symptoms what I am displayed here. So yoga one can address most of the symptoms what I have displayed, including a loss of job. Acceptance itself is a half a solution. Yoga may not give a new job, but accept the reality that will help them to prepare and get a new job or face the situation at a better. That's a yoga philosophy component of it, which we have done. A lot of patients lost job and they were depressed. It really helped them. Just a counseling with a yogic way of counseling with the Bhagavad Gita help of counseling really made a lot of difference. So that's where it is playing a very, very important role. So we need to handle the stress which is being speeded up, like Santoor soap. You could have seen, in a similar manner, whenever we go to a mall kind of thing, whatever we look at the advertisement, if we have not planned what kind of soap I have to purchase, if I'm looking at the Santoor advertisement, I will definitely go and pick up the Santoor soap. So what I'm trying to make here is media made a lot of impact. In this case, especially in COVID-19 case, it was most of the negativity that has created a further, the problem, especially the people after looking at the, number of cases, the way it has been, even though tuberculosis people die much more than what COVID people died, but the number of people were not aware, but it has been regularly displayed on the media. So that again created a lot of psychological negative impact, and people further got down, the immunity was down, the infection rate was high. That's what I'm trying to make a point here. So emotional aspect, even though people show outside something that's the tip of the iceberg, the emotions has to be, we need to understand where yoga can go deep into the, the emotions of the people can address it. I don't want to go in detail because of the lack of time, but whatever happening at present, it is just blocking some receptor, inducing sleep. It is masking the problem, masking the emotions. It is not the modification of the emotion is happening in the present healthcare system. But yoga can modify those emotions. That plays very, very important role. A lot of evidences are available. So again, if you understand, if you do a Manomaya Kosha enhancement, it can really slow down the breath and also it have a positive impact on the. So as I was saying, there are 5 layers of existence: Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and the Karma. Another is Anandamaya Kosha. In Annamaya Kosha, as I've already discussed, what kind of diet need to be taken. Light diet, it may be with some amount of spices. A lot of people started using spices. So cleansing is also very important. Neti really helped a lot. Especially in Panchakarma, what we say, Nashya, there are 2 drops of Anutaila, because if you put Anutaila regularly during infection or maybe during the COVID phases, it will prevent the infection, because it will not be able to travel that quickly through the oil media whenever you are using. That has been also a few of the studies have been shown. And as I have already briefed about the pranayama, direct meditation, prayers, I have already briefed about that. Notional correction, loss of job, even yoga play a role, because understanding the happiness. If you keep brooding on the problem, it will not help. Addressing the problem, rather than you have to solve the problem. Otherwise, you have to leave the problem. Don't live with the problem. A lot of people used to live with the problem, not LEV, live the problem. That's where yoga again plays a very important role. Another last kosha is the Anandamaya Kosha, where we talk about more of karma yoga. No, it is a higher philosophy. Depending on the patient, we can intervene if patient is able to understand those concepts. Otherwise, we can modify with the stories and also make understand about the karma yogas. These are the similar thing. What are the practices? Even though we have did a lot of studies related with COVID-19, but what I am able to understand after doing several studies, clinical trial in yoga, especially in COVID-19, also frontline warrior, post-COVID infections, what we are able to understand is, it is not like a medicine. It is not binding to any receptor and it is healing. It is works at a different level. It is not for the Delta. It is not for the Omicron. It is same for all of us. It is strengthening the immunity, focusing on that. That's where it is very, very important. There are all the components can really make a lot of differences. Now, in the last part of my talk, where I will try to give you some amount of evidences which we have done. So these are all, initially we not had a direct evidences. A lot of studies have been shown yoga can help at a both mental and a physical level. It has been clearly mentioned in this one of the high impact factor publication. These are the one of the systematic review. Yoga found beneficial in depression, found in fatigue, anxiety, physical fitness. It enhances and decreases the blood pressure. So many conditions associated. By putting all the literature or maybe a scientific literature, we can able to use the component of the different asana, pranayama, meditation can use. Based on this, we have planned and we have administered this to the patients with COVID-19, frontline warrior, and also post-COVID-19. This is another thing which is clearly says that it improves the quality of life. Even though it's an older one, but still it holds good. So how it helps, it has been clearly mentioned in one of the articles. Even though it is old, but still holds good, because medication keep changing. Yoga and Ayurveda, it is eternal. It is the same concept. Maybe you are repacking in a different thing. It has been found beneficial. GABA increased, glutamate increased, it decreased the dopamine, it increased the serotonin, it decreased the norepinephrine, and also it is acetylcholine. So in a different manner, it is trying to address in so many conditions. So during COVID-19, especially we have seen the DD National played a Upanishad Ganga. It also helped a lot of patients, because I did a survey on this. Those who watched the Upanishad Ganga, which is to screen. Why I'm trying to say here is, even though messages of our own Ramayana, Mahabharata, or Upanishad, giving a lot of kind of counseling at a different level, and it is really helping. So a study which is done in 2016 on a sambar, how it played an important role in a colon cancer. Okay, it's a preclinical trial, but still, what I'm trying to say, even a sambar have an impact on a body. In a similar manner, a lot of studies have been done to enhance the immunity, which was the need of our, because The virus, which is hidden, we don't know which form. People says 6 feet is enough. People says it spread through the droplets. It is spread through the touching of things. Lot of discussions happen. No, we don't have a clarity. If we prepare all possible kind of infections, then that will be better rather than anticipating or being apprehension about so many things. So yoga is found beneficial in enhancing the immune system. So many studies I can able to put here. It has been found like interleukin or even TNF alpha kind of things been also have a positive impact has been seen. In addition to this, it improves the pulmonary function. It has been proved beyond doubt, and also it is found beneficial in asthma, COPD, tuberculosis, because respiratory system was the major area where it got an impact. These are all the few publications. What I'm trying to maybe running with few of the slides to make you understand psychoneuroimmunology. Okay, yoga have a positive impact on the psychoneuroimmunology. Clear? So ahara, vihara, achara, vichara, all the things are being addressed in our yogic lifestyle. So yoga can act as a prophylactic prevention of the infection by boosting the immunity. During infection also it is found beneficial, which we have did a study. I can be able to show you that. And even post-COVID, where the breathlessness and also some kind of infection was there, also found beneficial. So yoga and Ayurveda cannot be separated. It is having a samavai sambandha. Even Ministry of Ayush released a guideline with Ayurveda yoga to help the COVID-19 people. So then different schools have a different speciality. Maybe some are focusing on meditation, some are focusing on the breathing exercises, some are focusing on the physical. So we have a different. So there are different paths. Any path we can choose. As Swami Vivekananda defines, yoga have a 4 paths. Any one of the paths we can choose and heal. Even it holds good in COVID-19. So this is all you are familiar because you all belong to this. Where I found yama niyamas are very important. Most of the time we talk about asana, pranayama and meditation. We have left out the yamas and niyamas. Suchi, Sauchya, Santosha, Tapaswadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana is also important during COVID-19 because we are following hygiene. That's also been showed. And being Santosha is some of the important things which is being taught. Because of lack of time, I may not be able to expand or magnify the areas, but these are the things which need to be addressed. We are only focusing on asana, pranayama, and meditation. These things also need to be more attention. These are all the few practices which has been the Morarji Desai school. Depending on, so we don't have a like a remdesivir or we don't have a kind of inhaler or kind of directly binding to the receptor and helping. It is working as a holistic or integrated approach. So many practices people can able to do because we have to understand it should be synchronizing the breath with the body movement and it should be with awareness, with being with oneself, Stiram Sukham Asanam. If you follow all these things, any practice is good enough. Anyhow, we have some amount of practices which I will give you a list later. So anybody can do yoga, even though the baby which is not born yet in the womb of a mother, till the deathbed, everybody can able to practice. The mode of practice will be different in different conditions. Ministry of Ayush given a common yoga protocol. This is also found beneficial. You need a kriya, especially the neti, found very beneficial because it cleanses the nasal passage directly where the infection is going on. And even as I mentioned, the nasha is also found beneficial. So it's the need of our strengthening the yoga with an evidence-based, complementary and alternative medicine. Now we are moving evidence-based complementary and integrative medicine. Not only within the system, we can even break the barrier and take other systems in consideration, come up with a better plans. So a lot of evidences are there. Our Prime Minister given a lot of talks during Man Ki Baat regarding COVID-19. It also made a very much impact because he has promoted Ayush system, people adopted. Another person, Bhushan Patwardhan, one of the pioneer in the field of scientific research, he also said it really benefits a lot. Before conclude, in the last few slides, I would like to show few of the important studies which we have conducted on COVID-19 in our university, where we have found a lot of benefits in COVID-19 patients, in nurses, in police personnel, so-called the frontline warriors. Even we have done some of the study with the tele yoga, people not able to do because of the lot of restrictions. were also found very much beneficial. Another study which we have recently completed, alternate nostril breathing, which has been recently completed, what we are able to see is, compared to holotrophic breath, it's one of the techniques from the West, alternative nostril breathing can play a very important role enhancing the resilience compared to the other. So ministry, even another article, I was one of the co-author, where we try to give, this article is a very beautiful article, where we are trying to give the evidences for the Ayush Ministry advisory for COVID-19. We have compiled because there was lack of time. Okay, ministry has advised something, so there was no evidences. People are started negative about it. So what we have did is we have compiled for over a period of 6 months, given all kind of evidences, and it has been published in one of the leading journals. So these are all few outcomes. Because of lack of time, I may not be able to go through. This whole slide talks about yoga found beneficial at a stress, especially depression, anxiety, and improve the quality of life, improve the sleep quality, and even the biochemical parameter like ferritin and CRP and D-dimer, it shows a positive impact. These are the few practices because of the restrictions, because we used to wear the during that kit, and we used to go and treat a patient. Because of the limitation of the situation, we have used only simple techniques, okay, 2 times, and it really given a lot of benefit for the patients, which we have published, presented in international conferences, and also the publication are also under process. These are the outcome measures, again found beneficial in frontline warriors. These are the simple frontline warriors. We have added Surya Namaskara in addition to the loosening exercises and other things. Yes. So even menstrual disorders, tele yoga, what we are trying to see, especially school going children face a lot of challenges because of the new way of learning, a lot of challenges, a lot of infrastructure issues, learning issues, people are not oriented. There also we found very fascinating results. And especially frontline warriors, leaving their parents, leaving their kids, they need to stay quarantine in the hospital. They face a lot of challenges. They are also found, yoga found very much beneficial. And we have did a study with the cortisol and the medical students, because most of the colleges are online, but medical colleges, only a shorter duration it was online. Most of the time they have to be there in the campus because of the nature of the healthcare, because they have to be here. There also we found benefits. So this is one of the review article which I have already briefed. These are the few action picks during COVID-19, which we are able to help, especially police people and the students, medical students, as well as also other students, women and adult students. The take-home memory is yoga may be a tool in combating COVID-19 pandemic. Maybe it's a 4th wave or 5th wave, anything. It can be helped as a prophylactic. During infection also it have a role. Even post-COVID also we have facing a lot of challenges, also can have a very important role. Transdisciplinary research is the need of our. We need to incorporate Ayurveda, yoga with the technology, and value-added course in UG and PG, where we are now NEP, National Education Policy 2020, has brought yoga in these multiple levels. That also going to help a lot in future. So how long we live doesn't matter. What quality of life we live, it matters a lot. So yoga can enhance the quality of life. That's what I would like to say. To conclude, live, let live, modify lifestyle, follow Ayurveda for the better system. So with this, I again thank the organizer for giving me this opportunity. I have planned no talk for 1 hour, so I was a bit rushing in a few slides. If any questions, I would like to take any questions if is there. I again thank you for the organizer, especially Bhima Shankar and others. Thank you so much.
Namaste, Dr. Patil. Thank you so much for that in-depth, beautiful presentation. It was so interesting. You shared so much information, and it's information that applies to each and every one of us. And, it just keeps reminding, even though we practice yoga, we sometimes take all its benefits for granted, because when you practice every day, you don't realize on an everyday basis just on how many levels it's affecting us, whether it's your subtle body, your mind, all of it, the gross body. So thank you so much for that. And if anyone has any questions, please send them to us. Meanwhile, Nirmala ji from London has said that this was very well presented and she enjoyed the overview and the research and the tailor-made curriculum. Also, Nick G is saying, Om, and thank you. Thank you so much for attending. Aditi Ji, we're sorry about the sound. We're trying our best, but this video will be available on the Indica Yoga website and our YouTube channel. So you can always go back to it. Maybe then the sound will be better on those platforms. Okay, Vidya Ji has a question. She is asking if you recommend a booster dose.
Where is she from? Which country? Maybe India?
Vidya Ji, are you from India? Yes, she's from India.
Yeah, actually, this is my personal view. It's a little sensitive area because question is right. That's the reason I have not touched the vaccination part. Honestly speaking, the immunity, acquired immunity is better. I don't recommend personally, but being a healthcare professional, because of the policy of the government, I have to say, but given me a personal choice. I have a wide, because whenever, because virus keep changing its structure, okay? You cannot keep giving the booster dose for every variant. So it will again further going to, deteriorate your healthcare, so, and also the immunity. And you are more prone for the other issues. Personally, and that it's a very sensitive question, but still I would like to address. Personally, and in Ayurveda and yoga, we don't really go for this. We will enhance the immunity. During infection, even though I was working with a COVID-19 patient 6 to 8 hours in a day, with all kinds of things, I have not taken anything, honestly speaking. I have taken the immunity, ashwagandha. I have taken Swamala compound. I want to enhance the immunity rather than going for a vaccination. Getting my point? This is my personal view. I know it is a bit sensitive. Okay. Even Ayurveda, a lot of doctors don't give vaccination for their kids. Okay. But it is recommended as per the government. You should follow it. Hope it is clear.
Thank you for that very honest answer, Dr. Patil. I actually agree with you, and so does my partner. We only took the vaccination because it's a mandate. But, I agree, because if your immunity is strong, that's pretty much it. You really don't need that many things. But again, these are personal opinions, everyone. So please don't take it out of context and quote us in the wrong way.
Very clear. I'm not against vaccination. It is my personal view. As a doctor, I recommend vaccination. I make it very clear. Because I have to follow the government guidelines. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. We have two more. Yes, Vidya ji is saying an Ayurvedic doctor has also told not to take any vaccine, hence the confusion. I hope this clears your confusion, Vidya ji. Aditi ji, thank you. Yes, please try on the Indica website and then get in touch with us if you still can't access it. Any more questions from our audience? Even if you don't think of questions now, but if you think of them later, please send them to us, and you'll get our info@indica.in. Please check our email on our website, and you can write to us and we will forward your questions to Dr. Patil. And since we don't have any questions for now, is there any message you'd like to leave us with before we sign out?
I feel, how long, yoga is a manual of human life, human being. Whenever you purchase anything, you will get a manual, what to do, what not to do, how to get it service. We take our vehicle for a regular service center, but unfortunately, we are not taking this vehicle for a regular center. There is detoxification is a need of our, good lifestyle is a need of our, and the incorporating, talking yoga is not help unless and until it should be incorporated part of life. Yoga is not a morning half an hour, evening half an hour. Yoga is a way of life. We need to incorporate. We can challenge any of the variant, okay, if you follow the yogic way of life.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I think we have one more question. It has just come from Vidya ji. Would yoga help someone who has ILD is on 24-hour oxygen support?
Again, as I said, no, unless and until we see the patient, it is not a general case, it's a tailor-made one. We need to see the ILD, what are the things, and the 24-hour oxygen, what is the amount of oxygen. There are so many information it required. Because it's a public platform, I don't want to make a vague statement and also false things. We have to be very specific. Unless and until, especially it is not a general. If it is a general, I could have answered. 24-hour oxygen support is something we need to understand the amount of oxygen patient-associated condition, comorbid condition, so many things are important. If she can write a mail to me, I can address to her. Otherwise, we can have a separate chat on that. Not a problem. Hope now I made it clear.
Thank you. Which brings me to the next part. Would you like to share your email address with our audience if they would like to get in touch with you, if they have questions or for a consultation, anything, please?
I am typing it. Is it okay? No, I will type it here.
Yes, that's perfect. So everyone can, yes, it's ayushnitin@gmail.com, AYUSHNITIN@gmail.com. Plus it's on our chat. So anyone who'd like to get in touch with Dr. Patil, you can do so on this address. Thank you. Thank you, Nirmala ji, for your, she's saying thank you so much for hosting these educational live videos. We appreciate your comments. Thank you so much. And okay, just before we leave, I'd like to remind everyone that this entire session will now be available on our Indica Yoga website, on the Indica Yoga YouTube channel. So you can always come back to it, share it with people you know, and you'll always have access to it. So I think that's it. Oh, there's a number as well that Dr. Patil has shared with everyone. It's 988-6211-008.
Yes.
I'll try to have this put on the YouTube, on our YouTube and website as well, so y'all can access these details.
I think it is there in my first slide. I don't know exactly. I remember. Maybe both the informations are available in my first slide. Yeah, it is there in my first slide.
Okay, will do. But Vidya ji has asked to repeat the number, so I'm going to do that again. Vidya ji, it's 988-6211-008. I hope you got that. I'll repeat it one last time. Oh, okay, great. 988-6211-008. Great. So thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you so much, Dr. Patil, for this session. And I'll see all of you next week, Friday, 6 o'clock, for another very amazing session of Yoga Insights. Dhanyavad. Have a beautiful evening. Hari Om.
Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, everyone from Indica Yoga. You are doing a wonderful work. Keep doing. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. I wish healthy and also quality of life. That's more important for everyone, and also practice of the yoga. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you.